Study holidays are the difference between getting good marks and getting really good marks. And in this video, I'll tell you how. So let me tell you something that very few people know about me. I did not pass my 12th grade pre-board exams in physics. So here's how I bounced back from not passing in my pre-boards to actually getting 100 in my board exam. Hi guys, I'm Anvita. I scored 99% in 10th and 12th board exams, so you can trust what I'm saying. And this will be a slightly long video, but make sure to watch to the end. I'm sure it will be worth it. And before we continue, like this video and subscribe to my channel because it makes me happy. So here's what I did. I would get up at 5:30 every day and write a list of things of what I wanted to do on that day. And then after this, at 6 exactly, I would give one mock paper, one sample paper or a previous year paper, whatever it is. And I would give that paper from 6 to 9. And as soon as it was 9, I would take a break of 1.5 hours. And at 10:30 sharp, I would do something called as the monk mode. What I would do basically was I would leave my phone, leave my laptop, everything outside, and I would enter this one sacred room without any gadgets. I would take all my books, textbooks, stationery, paper, pens, whatever I wanted, and enter this room with a list of things that I want to do that I've written down in the morning. And until I finished everything, I would not leave the room. This might sound a bit extreme, but I was in a very bad state and I had to do something extreme to get very good marks. So I would eat my snacks, everything in the room itself. I would not leave the room. It was almost like there was a Lakshman Rekha or an invisible line that said that I should not leave the room until I finish everything. And this enabled me to do something called as deep work. So deep work is when you can do literally 4 times the amount that you can do otherwise, when there are absolutely no restrictions and when there's a lot of pressure on you to finish whatever you have to do. And this is how I was able to finish entire chapters in 2 hours, 3 hours, to an extent where I would know all the previous year questions. So how I would do this is, let me say I had to do one chapter of physics. I would set a time for it, say 3 hours, and in those 3 hours, what I would do first was to mark all the important topics. How I would do this was I would go through the previous year papers firstly and put a tally mark on the topics, as and when they come. So how many ever questions have come, I would have a tally next, a very small tally next to the topic itself of how many times it has come. So I would know how important it is and what to focus my attention on. And I would first read the entire chapter and get a basic overview of what's happening. And I had to do this because I had completely skipped a lot of chapters. So I would first read the chapter very quickly and get to know what was happening in the chapter and what all parts were important. This would take around 1 hour. The second thing after I would do this was in the next 2 hours, I would go in descending order, which means I would go from the most important to the least important and make sure to learn all the things that have been asked and specifically make sure that I can answer all the questions that have been asked from those topics. I would basically just do this and then I would call the chapter as done. After I would come out of the monk mode at around 5:30, I would sit to correct my paper which I've written in the morning. For this, I would refer the textbooks to write down all the points, whatever I've missed, and then whichever topic which I felt weak, I would write down in my next day ka to-do list. And the best part about all this is that because you're giving papers every single day, you're actually able to see your progress every single day. So I saw myself going from 35, 40 to 80, 75, 80, and then finally to 95, 100. And that change, when you see yourself improving your marks, that itself is the biggest motivator for you to continue to do this extreme routine every single day. And I can tell you that if you follow this routine, I'm sure you'll do very, very well, or at least get to a much better state than you were before. And this completely helped me. I cannot even begin to tell you how much this routine helped me. I remember when I was seeing the question paper of my actual boards, I knew each and every question because I knew that these are the questions that I had marked as important and they actually ended up coming. And it was a very nice feeling for me that I had already studied everything compared to my pre-board exams where I literally knew nothing. And it was a very crazy routine, I'm not gonna lie. But the pressure of the board exams being just a week away would actually make me study very, very hard to get those amazing marks. And also, one day or a few days before the board exam, like 1 or 2 days before, I would have completed everything, at least one round, and I would give a paper and analyze it, and I would mostly just do questions on 1 or 2 days before. And also, I would revise everything that I've gone through. So, because I studied mainly based on questions and important topics, I would go through all the important topics for physics specifically. So, I think that if you follow this, you can definitely go from a very, like, even bad position like me to a much better position. And even if you're in an already good position, you can use this time to give papers every day, as well as revise everything in those in your monk mode time if you happen to do it. So you don't have to completely start from scratch. You can actually revise a chapter very quickly. You can keep 1 or 1.5 2 hours per chapter to revise all the important topics, and I think that you will be in a very good state to get like maximum amount of marks in your board exams. And remember that this is the only time you have to bounce back. It's okay if you have not done anything till now. Please don't use this time to repent about how you could do things, you could have done things earlier. Instead, just focus all your attention on maximizing your study holidays by doing everything that I mentioned. And another thing is to sleep well. Like, don't compromise and sleep way too much, because this, especially if you do a lot of deep work, it drains you completely. So I personally needed at least 8 hours, 7 hours to recover from this extreme state of productivity, but it all turned out very well in the end. So make sure to make sure to keep your routine sustainable over the course of a week. So it's not like you're sleeping 2 hours and then the next day you mess up your routine. Like, make sure to get maybe 7 hours of sleep or whatever it is, or 6 hours, 5 hours, but make sure to sleep. And when it approaches very close to the exam, if you're not able to complete some topics, you can of course compromise on your sleep and you can make it up after the exam. But if you have 1 week left for your exams, make sure to actually sleep well and follow this routine, because I can assure you that it is the fastest way to maximize your marks and see a huge jump in your marks. And with that said, please give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.